We take a look at the starting fives. Jalen Wilson, the Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yeah, 6 straight 20-point games. I mean, just evolved his game, not just from a power perspective, but being able to knock down the shot. And then the big question, Nick Smith Jr. didn't really practice yesterday. Not in the starting lineup right now, or he's in the starting lineup right now. So we'll see how that knee fares right now on that maintenance part of it.
Our three officials, Joe Lindsay, Courtney Green, Marquise Pettigrew. Andy Bonner is the standby official. Razorbacks come up empty on their first possession. Here come the Jayhawks. Great in offensive transition. 16 straight NCAA tournament victory in the first round. Their second meeting against Arkansas in the dance. It goes back to 1991. These two have not played against one another since 2005. As McCullough gets up the first shot. Grady Dick, offensive rebound. Coming off a career-high 11 boards in their opening round win against Howard. Another offensive board, Adams this time, and a third chance for Kansas.
Yeah, outstanding activity by Kansas early. The energy is there. Can Arkansas match it? It's a question.
Talon Harris, unable to score it. Nick Smith looks pretty mobile. We'll get into that story as this game continues. Arkansas taking down Illinois, the closest game of the day Thursday here in Des Moines. Only beaten the 1 seed once. That was Gonzaga last year. They forced the turnover. Going on top, Dick. That was too tall from Harris. And the normally sure-handed point guard, maybe a little over-aggressive here in the early minutes of this one.
Well, you got the defensive stop you wanted, just not able to convert in transition. Both offenses trying to find an early rhythm. Kansas playing really good, outstanding half-court defense. Had some chances on the offensive end, just not able to convert. Let's see if Arkansas can find a way to get the ball through the nets on this possession.
Ricky Council elevated into the starting lineup. He was cooking against Illinois on Thursday. And Ricky Council has been one of the best bench players in the SEC. Has found a little groove as a starter. He went for 18 against the Illini. Razorbacks don't get a lot of threes. Fewest in the SEC, so anything they get is a bonus. Here's Wilson, top player. They all leave him, and Wilson with an easy bucket.
Hey, keep an eye on this. KJ Adams in the short pick and roll. They'll use him to initiate some plays, kick it to the weak side, and that time Wilson was able to benefit by getting himself in the lane, then eventually able to score after that patience.
Wilson, not only the Big 12 Player of the Year, got a chance at the National Player of the Year as well. As Council unable to hit, here come the Jayhawks. This is where they thrive, Jimmy. In transition, credit the Razorbacks for getting back. Harris lays it in. Harris with a burst to the basket and one. Chance at a three-point play for the Kansas point guard.
Well, talking to Kirk Townsend, the assistant coach for Kansas, one of the keys was beating the pressure of Arkansas and then off the dribble, forcing them to have to guard one-on-one. Right there, half-court defense, no rotation on the backside, easy money for Harris to get himself to the line.
Had that early turnover. Very good assist-to-turnover ratio throughout the year. 7 assists in the opening game against Howard and scored 11 as well. Here is Smith, player to watch today. Smith misses the three. Johnson with the rebound but lost the handle. Grady Dick running the floor, the easy run out. And Kansas at their best in transition. Open up a 6-2 lead. Grady Dick started every game as a freshman this year, averaged over 14 a game. He is a sharp shooter, but give him a lot more early in this tournament. Davis misses the three, one and done for Arkansas. Here's Wilson. Cut off, Wilson, so strong, and he scores another and one for Kansas.
Well, the discipline of Kansas, because in this particular case is Kamani Johnson right there, probably not fully committed to the double team, but the patience of Jalen Wilson allowed him to maneuver himself inside once Kamani Johnson kind of exited the double team, and then again the strength to fight through the pressure and the foul to get to the free throw line.
Nick Smith goes to the bench as Jalen Wilson completes the three-point play, and we send it over to Allie LaForce.
Brian, I know you mentioned that Nick Smith Jr. didn't practice yesterday. That's something definitely to watch throughout the course of this game as his relationship continues to just be interesting with this team. But also two other things. Kamani Johnson, he's playing with a broken toe. He was sick, very sick after Thursday's game, actually. He's still not back to 100%. And Anthony Black tweaked his left ankle in practice yesterday. He stayed on the floor. It's been an ankle that he's dealt with for all season long. So keep an eye on that ankle as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Allie. Good reporting there. Those two lottery picks for the Razorbacks. There's an offensive board by Dick. Boy, Arkansas having trouble on the defensive glass right now. Debo Davis had a big game against Illinois. He buried a couple of big-time threes and had a steal late in that game. That was the closest game of the day on Thursday. Illinois got it within 5. Arkansas prevailed. Timeout on the floor. Kansas off to a good start. Feels like a home game for them here in Des Moines. Arkansas a little banged up. One of their key injuries that they're watching is Anthony Black, who has a bad left ankle. It started in the SEC tournament, and right as he jumped in the air guarding McCullough, he tweaked that ankle. Not only, Jimmy, going for the retape, but going for the high tops. He's going to have a brand new pair of sneakers to roll with. So that is an early story for Arkansas, already playing a little banged up. That means Eric Musselman puts Nick Smith back on the floor.
At point, which gives you a different dynamic. But let's keep in mind, too, that at this point of the season, as you know, Brian, every player has something going on, knee, back, ankle. You got to figure out ways to injury manage that and kind of fight through and block out that pain in order to perform.
Allie all over it. Those early injuries starting to show up quickly here. That's a travel, and the Razorbacks turn it over.
Against this Kansas team, you need to get shots. You can't have empty possessions because Kansas is so disciplined in what they do that they are the type of team, as we've seen in the past, that will make you pay off your own miscues. So let's keep our eyes on the empty possessions for Arkansas.
Jordan Walsh, Makai Mitchell on the floor. Mitchell, a rim protector, number 15. And a hot pass, nice catch, McCullough. Dick, boy, that's just great movement by Kansas. And a bouncing rebound. Walsh has to go to the floor. So Nick Smith's already in the crosshairs right now. Eric Musselman is shouting at the top of his lungs at his freshman. He had put him on the bench because he got beat in transition earlier. And then not aggressive to this rebound, Jim.
Not at all, because DeJuan Harris understands why each possession matters. He's won a national championship. He understands that at this point of the season, in an NCAA tournament, you win or you go home. We need to have as many possessions as possible. Prime example on that offensive play.
KJ Adams, he's the hub of the wheel for the Jayhawks. Here's Harris rolling with Adams in the lob. Those two playmakers, there's a lot of attention on Wilson and Grady Dick, but those are the two key playmakers, DeJuan Harris and KJ Adams. They had a ton of lobs against Howard in their opening round matchup. Debo Davis takes a tough two. McCullough, one of the top defenders in the Big 12, all over him. 11-0 run here. Arkansas started the scoring, nothing since. Adams too strong, and last touch by McCullough. That'll be Arkansas basketball.
Well, when you play with an experienced point guard, he's going to set you up for success. This time Harris just draws two defenders, but that's just poor communication that time between Nick Smith Jr. and Kamani Johnson. Once the pick and roll happened, Kamani stayed with the ball, Nick stayed with the basketball. That was an easy lob inside, and we see back on the court Anthony Black kind of limping a little bit right now. Yeah,
no question.
I've been there, done that, man. Got to figure out a way to block it out and still try to be effective if your team needs you. There you go.
Black gets one inside. That'll heal you up a little bit. The ball has life, and the ball heals.
It does too, but the play that they ran allowed enough movement in space that Black was able to get a back cut, and now you weren't going one-on-one against this really good Kansas defense.
Here's Wilson, got the catch inside. So strong in there, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2. So Kansas off to this great start, but really the story right now is with the Arkansas Razorbacks, and how long and how often are you going to go with Nick Smith, who missed practice yesterday, been battling a knee problem, Black with the ankle injury. I mean, Musselman's kind of running out of tools in the shed right now as Wilson knocks down the free throw. Hey, thousands of movies and TV shows, all for free, on demand, and live channels, news, sports, drama, classics, and more. Pluto TV, the ultimate game changer in streaming. Jalen Wilson, 2 for 2, the unanimous Big 12 Player of the Year. He's got 7 early points. Council, one of the few three-point threats Arkansas has, getting late clock. Kansas not giving them any driving lanes. Mitchell, bad pass. McCullough got a hand on it. It was last touched by McCullough, and that'll be Arkansas ball with 3 to shoot.
Yeah, 3 seconds for Kansas. You want to force this ball to go back towards half court. Protect the inside pass. Dwan Harris Jr., you don't want to jump to the outside.
Going up top, Mekhi Mitchell. No, there is Walsh. Walsh able to put it in. Strong rebound and a finish.
And Eric Musselman wanted a foul on the play, but very good underneath out of bounds play to get the lob up top. Didn't get it on the first try, but able to clean up the mess inside the Walsh for the second.
Walsh, another terrific freshman, McDonald's All-America. Harris gets a step, gives it up. And McCullough lets a fly by. Harris for 3. Davis out of the pack. Arkansas scored the first bucket. Kansas ripped off 11 in a row. Razorbacks trying to get settled here. Black for 3. Harris looking up ahead. Every three-pointer, every layup missed, every three-pointer missed. Going to turn into some kind of transition, at least an attempt at a fast break for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, you got to have your defensive balance in the backcourt if you're Arkansas, because this Kansas team is adept at getting the ball up either via the dribble or the pass.
Black moving his feet well despite that bum ankle. Now Walsh, their best defender, on Wilson, who gets a step on him on a swipe down from behind. Davis is fouled. Grady Dick will pick up the foul just as Arkansas was trying to get loose in transition.
Well, trying to figure out ways to stop this offense, and Walsh that time with an easy swipe. Need more of that for Arkansas to cut into the 7-point lead.
Coach, it appears that everything is going according to game plan. What, if anything, do you nitpick about this start?
Well, we got to rebound the ball better. We gave up second shots. We had a tip right there that gave them a basket. The other thing is got to make layups. We had some easy shots. We didn't put them in.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
57-year-old Norm Roberts filling in for Bill Self as the acting head coach. Bill Self missing his 2nd consecutive NCAA tournament game. Missed the entirety of the Big 12 tournament as well. Went in last Wednesday complaining of chest pain, had 2 stents put in to treat 2 clogged arteries. Was released from the hospital Sunday. As Ali reported, he's been with the team, been coaching in practice, but not able to do the games. Got a block from Ernest Uday Jr., his first minutes on the floor, and a presence defensively already.
And Uday Jr. can play a tremendous role with this Kansas team, defensively, rebounding, clogging up the lane, but also second shots and lob opportunities in their half-court sets.
Eric Musselman has Jalen Graham on the floor, and that's going to be an offensive foul. So Arkansas getting into their personnel a little bit.
Well, the Arkansas Razorbacks love to get into isolation one-on-one. That's when they're really good and really at their best. You see an offensive foul by Uday here. That's where the discipline of Kansas shrinking the court, knowing that Arkansas is not as adept from the three-point line, so you don't have to guard as far out, but you want to close the driving lanes and the gaps and take that away from the Razorbacks.
Kansas, the reigning national champs, trying to go back-to-back. Hadn't been done since the Florida Gators, 2006, 2007. Graham wide open. So a little miscommunication with the Jayhawks, and that leaves Graham getting his first action here. Played just 3 minutes in the Illinois game on Thursday. Got to help his confidence to get one on the board this fast.
But when Arkansas runs a set and they move the basketball with multiple passes, they get really good shots.
Joseph Yesufu Comes up too long. That's Black with the rebound. Arkansas, they want to push it as much as they can. Smith for three in the corner. No. And Graham knocks it out of bounds. That'll be Kansas ball. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. Kansas, not a great defensive transition team. They're one of the best in the country on the offensive end. That's certainly an area Arkansas will try to exploit today if they're allowed.
Well, also an area that Arkansas wants to exploit is to try to dig into the slim bench. Not a lot of depth for Kansas. See if they can pick up some early fouls.
Harris, strong take to the rim, goes high off the window. And DeJuan Harris off to a very good start here for Kansas. Couple of baskets in. Got 2 assists already. Terrific playmaker he is. It's Smith. Gives it up. Council open for 3. And Council buries a 3. He had 10 points in the first half against Illinois. Knocked down a key 3. This is not a strength of Arkansas, but Council is a guy you can't leave that wide open.
And that time Council was able to catch it in rhythm. So he didn't have to think about it, squared up his shoulders and his feet, confidently let it go.
Jalen Wilson gives it to Adams. Grady Dick looking for space. Council on him. Nice hands by Council. Popped him twice. 2 to shoot. Long 3 by Yesufu. Okay. Oh, from the logo. Joseph Yesufu started his collegiate career right here in Des Moines. He played for Drake, and he had a couple of monster NCAA tournament games. 2 20-plus tournament games in those days. Second year in the Kansas program. It sticks a long one. Graham going to work. Walsh offensive rebound, and he's fouled. Walsh looks like a presence in there right now for the Razorbacks. Underestimated to undeniable. It's presented by Powerade Jimmy.
Yeah, well, underestimated was the range right here of Yesufu. Arkansas did everything right. They maintained their defensive discipline, pushed Kansas out. But at the end, Yesufu able to connect, not even thinking about a 3-ball up and in. Brian, that just proves that 2 things can be right at the same time.
It's true, and he doesn't take many. I mean, he's kind of he's a system player, role player, but we've seen it before in the NCAA tournament. He does have a little bit of that lightning rod mentality.
He has a different speed, too, when he pushes the ball than Harris, so a different change of pace a lot of times on the break. And even when he utilizes the pick and rolls, his burst of speed forces defense back a little bit. You saw the runner he had inside just shot a little strong, but he's able to get to his spots.
Jordan Walsh, 4 points. Secured another offensive rebound for Arkansas. 8.5 to go. Adams free, and Adams with a 2-handed dunk. Big power body inside.
Beautiful play to isolate Adams that time, and he brought everybody, all the players on the left-hand side of the free throw line to open up the lob over the top.
Usually Adams setting up Wilson in reverse that time. Wilson playmaking. Devo Davis got Adams on him. And Davis rises up and knocks down the little floater. Davis has really improved his offensive game. And the travel. Harris walked with it. Kansas turnover. Timeout on the floor.
Look, A.J. Adams does his work early. A little simple play to isolate Adams inside, and all Jalen Wilson had to do was throw it up. Adams did the rest.
Take a look at our game summary. Arkansas, the fewest 3-pointers in the SEC, and they've already fired up 7. Made just 1. Moment ago, Eric Musselman, the head coach of the Razorbacks, with Allie LaForce.
Well, Coach, despite a 1-for-7 start, this is a 2-possession game. How do you continue to overcome the deficit?
We got to do a much better job on the defensive backboards. Too many offensive second chance opportunities. Got to stop settling for the 3-ball. I mean, those 2 things, and we got to get some free throws attempted, so we must have to go to the rim much harder than what we are right now.
How concerned are you with Black's ankle?
it's a concern. It's been a concern for about a month. He's been really banged up. Great toughness, though. He'll fight through it.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Great job, Allie. And Blacks is going to fight through it because he understands that this is win or go home, and now you get a steal right out of the timeout. You're talking about frustrating for a coach. You come out of the timeout, you have a little bit of momentum, and then you give the ball right to your opponent.
It's Bobby Pettiford with the steal. Davis, the ball handler, who turns it over. Now Yesufu switches on to Council. Makai Mitchell gives it up. Davis looking for help inside. Kansas just sealing off all of the drives. Wow, tough shot. Devo Davis, the lefty, a little turnaround is good.
Well, we saw Devo Davis make some tough shots, some tough twos against the Illini. That none different right there, able to use his size to get up and over.
You mentioned the Kansas bench. They don't get a lot of production from their bench. Yesufu's already hit the long three, late clock. Pettiford, the backup point guard, is Adams. No, can't get the follow, and out of the pack comes Ricky Council. Council behind the back, shifty, leaves it, and easy finish inside from Jordan Walsh.
And the thing about it, Kansas got back in transition, but no one communicated on the ball with Council. So two players jumped at him, allowed Walsh to get back door, and Council an easy dime inside.
Wilson gets three inside with three surrounding him, and one. Jalen Wilson a chance at a three-point play once again.
But communication early. If you do that now, you're able to make up for a mistake if you get beat. But that time, not a great communication effort by Kansas, but then right back at you, Jalen Wilson, as your default mechanism. When you need a point, post him up inside the middle of the lane. Not too many people in the country can stop him.
Kansas does play small, they play fast, but Wilson is a handful inside. Coming off a 20-point game against Howard in round one, can't finish off the three-point trip. Kansas had an 11-2 lead early. They lead it by 5 here, approaching the 6-minute mark of this first half. Council guarded by Adams. Walsh looking inside. Makai Mitchell gives it right back. We'll give it go action. Walsh able to get it to go. No, he touched the rim. It was going to fall. Basket interference, wipes off the basket.
I mean, beautiful play. Walsh read it perfectly. Defender jumped to the ball, and he grabbed the rim right at the last minute. Everything done perfectly. Until you took away your own. Listen, somebody else take away your point. That's something else. You can't take away your own too, bro.
Here's Grady Dick. A little catch and shoot. Mid-range jumper is good. You can see the Jayhawks trying to get Grady Dick into the action now. One of the great three-point shooters in the country. He's a guy that's going to be headed potentially as a lottery pick as well to the next level.
And look at the size Grady Dick guarding at the beginning. Anthony Black, 6'8" on 6'7".
Council, oh, nice pass inside to Makai Mitchell. Ricky Council, excellent find.
Yeah, but those are the gaps that are available if you can swing the ball side to side and then go into your action. That way the defense is shifting and you're able to capitalize off of it.
Grady Dick, good closeout by Black, and then that was Davis who forced the turnover. Kansas does a good job getting back. Arkansas can't push it. They trail by 5 with the basketball here. 4:46 remaining. Council lets a three go. No. Grady Dick pushes it. Council got a hand on that, and that'll reset it. Side out of bounds, Jayhawks.
Talking about tight quarters right here. Watch this little pocket pass. Right in between it. That's in between 3 defenders.
Then Council comes down, misses the 3. They're 1 for 9. Arkansas also missing their big man who can shoot it from 3. Trevin Brazil blew his ACL in December, and that has been a story once they got into conference play, and just a significant piece lost. It's going to be an offensive foul. It's going the other way. Ude. There's Trevin Brazil. Well, you know it's got to hurt.
Well,
watching his teammates go at it like this, and you can't participate.
Yeah, it hurts too. You lose the points, you lose the rebounds, but it also is a rotational player because it lengthens your bench right now. So it gives you more options on how you can play in particular games. It gives you versatility when you play against some smaller teams, some bigger teams. So not only do you lose points, but you lose the versatility that he brings to the table.
Eric Musselman told us he's their best and most reliable three-point shooter at 6'10". Inside, Mekhi Mitchell, offensive foul. Arkansas gives it right back, and Mekhi Mitchell commits the foul.
Let's take a look at that right arm right there in the elbow. I don't think it's much, to be honest with you. But when you stick it out as an official on the weak side, what they see is a hook. And it may not be as much of a hook as the arm is out, but the weak side official felt otherwise.
Catch and shoot for Wilson. Comes up short. Davis with the rebound. On the run, Black, little floater. No. Harris back on the floor, the point guard. Pushing it. Oh, what a pass. And McCullough counted and one. Kevin McCullough off to the races with his point guard and rewarded.
And this happened and worked because Grady Dick was right there. You can't help inside, and McCullough able to lay it in to stretch out this lead to 7.
Matchup of the SEC and the Big 12. The Arkansas Razorbacks and the Kansas Jayhawks, the defending champs, the Jayhawks. Just 3.5 hours up I-35 from Lawrence, Kansas. They've got a big crowd supporting them here today. Now the Jayhawks lead it by 7. McCullough a chance to finish off a three-point trip down the floor.
And I was saying that perfect break for Kansas, why Grady Dick was on the left-hand wing. You had to honor the three-point shooting, and McCullough did the right thing by going to the basket. That opened up the lane. That's an old-school fast break, running for a layup, and you get rewarded for it.
Uday's going to get hit with another foul.
Can't afford that. Can't afford those fouls away from the basketball. On the, your man is going away, and that's his third. He's going away from the basket. Allow him to get up there. You can get right behind him. There's no need to grab him. He's not a threat on the perimeter from that perspective, and that's where you have to use your intelligence. See, he's holding him right there. There's no need.
Makes a thin bench thinner. One of the big game plans. You heard Eric Musselman talk to Ali about getting them in foul trouble. His counsel cannot hit, and that's going to be a foul. This side's going to be on Kansas, so it stays down here. And KJ Adams will be hit with a foul.
Well, excellent swim move that time by Kamani Johnson to get inside. And maybe now you can look at that for a hook and hold a little bit, the way the arm was intertwined inside, but Johnson did an excellent job of maneuvering around Adams to get inside, but now you don't capitalize at the free throw line.
Both teams in the bonus. Kamani Johnson can't connect on the first of the 1-1, and under 3.5 to go here in this first half. McCullough finds Grady Dick. He's got a quick release. Missed it. That's Smith with the rebound. Nick Smith Jr. And Harris able to poke it free from Smith. Smith, a native of Arkansas, North Little Rock High School, playing for his hometown team. Maybe just here 1 year, however. They got to get him going. He has really struggled shooting the ball. Now Harris is down, grabbing at his ankle.
And that happened on the contest. Hopefully it's one of those, you come down, it's a stinger. It hurts now, but you can get up and play through it. Watch on the contest as he comes down right. Well, he just came down hard. Oh, right there.
Yeah, going into the photons.
Yes. The point of the foot. I've been there, done that before. You're fine. You try to take off, and right there just turns over.
Well, and a hush has come over this crowd. Athletic trainer Bill Cowgill. They're tending to Harris. He kind of had that look, that concerned look. Head coach helps him up. Man, he is struggling, Jimmy. He can't even put any pressure on this ankle. The right ankle, and
see how he keeps walking. See if he keeps walking.
Heading back to the locker room.
There we go.
3 minutes remaining in this first half. Might as well send him back. Well, that becomes a big story. Ali will be all over that. We'll get you an update as soon as we can. That puts Bobby Pettiford back on the floor, the backup point guard. Played 15 minutes in the round 1 matchup against Howard.
And what you lose too is the intelligence of a young man that's been there with the experience. But now he doesn't shoot a lot of three-point shots, but he is a 40% shooter, so he can knock in the big ones when you need to. So right now with Pettiford, it's just all about doing your job, not trying to do too much, play some outstanding half-court defense, and be a leader on the court.
Pettiford feeding Adams inside. Adams will turn around jump hook. He is fouled. Kamani Johnson called for the foul. He's going to give Adams a couple of free throws. Eric Musselman upset. Courtney Green getting an earful from the Arkansas head coach.
Well, let's take a look at what, if we get a chance, we'll be able to see what Musselman is talking about maybe. Right here, deep post position, hand is there, arms are up. So it's the right hand, maybe where he called it. Again, I think it's one of those calls, it's a no call. He has his hand like underneath his shoulder, I mean right under his shoulder, on his back, but he didn't influence at all what KJ Adams did.
Most improved player in the Big 12, KJ Adams. Been able to score here in this one. 10-point Kansas lead, their biggest lead. Wilson all over Ricky Council. Council, they clear it out for him. He drives it. Council hangs and scores, and a foul. Council got some burst. He's another guy that's going to be a high round pick, maybe late first or second. He can go a little bit, and Arkansas is going to need him. Strong finish from Ricky Council.
Well, Razorback fans are accustomed to this. And what I mean by this is being able to get an isolation up top or on the wing and let your best players kind of go to work. And Council that time used his quickness. But you saw some strength right there because Jalen Wilson is not a small young man. He was able to bounce the contact and, you know, finish right through it.
A delay of game warning here as we check in with Ali. Ricky Council coming off a double-double Thursday against Illinois, went for 18 points.
He was feeling it. You know, Ricky Council is the fourth of the Ricky Councils, right? He wants to make it very clear that he is the best Ricky Council on and off the court. But he also said having the confidence in himself, it's something that a lot of players struggle with. He's never struggled with that, but his teammates and his coaches, they believe in him. They put him in a position to be the best version of himself, and they feed off of that innate confidence that's natural part of who he is.
Well, coming off the bench, serving in his role so well this year. And got a chance to light the fuse and be a big score. By the way, that was a double T. So Jalen Wilson and Anthony Black get hit with the double technical fouls. Zach Clements on the floor for Kansas, getting deep into their rotation as well, the Jayhawks. On the take goes McCullough. Wow, strong finish. Nice touch by Kevin McCullough. Black looking for Mitchell again. Cut off this time.
Great defense. McCullough cut off the baseline right there. That's how you slide your feet.
Got his own offensive board and a foul. So Arkansas is starting to stack up some offensive rebounds. That is their 6th offensive board, the first for Council. And free throws coming. In 3 weeks, CBS returns to Augusta National Golf Club, a tradition unlike any other. The Masters coming in April to CBS. I saw our man Trevor Immelman, a Masters champion in 2008. He was attending the NCAA tournament in Orlando, having a good time. Take it over for Nick Faldo.
Were you surprised that Nick called it quits? I mean, he was so good.
Such a great job. It's like you calling it quits, Jimmy. I'd be shocked.
Well, no, I work more than Nick. I can tell you that right now. Nick got a few during the summer, but I think he wanted to spend more time with his family and do something. I'm like, well, bro, you only got so many events you do.
Arkansas with a little bit of movement, but still down 7 here as Kansas in the final minute and a half. Losing their point guard, DeJuan Harris. Clements misses it from 3-ball range. Anthony Black at the controls for the Razorbacks. We'll get you a full update at the half. See if DeJuan Harris is going to be able to return. Kansas already without their Hall of Fame head coach and Bill Self. Council, a lot of dribbling here. Finally gives it up. Got to get him one up quick. Shot clock at 1 and met at the rim is waltzed by 2 Jayhawks. The foul is called. Jordan Walsh exploding to the basket just as the shot clock was expiring.
Well, KYG, know your game. Jordan Walsh knows he's only a 28% three-point shooter. And even though the shot clock was going down, the baseline was open. So smartly, he put the ball on the deck, attacked instead of taking the three. Got to the free throw line, unfortunately couldn't convert on the first try.
Pins the second foul on KJ Adams. Walsh got himself into foul trouble against Illinois Thursday in round 1. He did score 6 points. Had 3 steals, though, in 27 minutes. He gives him great length defensively. And timeout, Kansas. Norm Roberts wants to talk this over. Offensive possession coming for the Jayhawks. 1 minute to go in the first half. Good stuff, Adam. Thank you. And you can follow all of that. The best way to do it, your computer, phone, tablet, streaming device, NCAA March Madness Live. Just scan the QR code to download. We go under a minute here. Kansas with the ball. Norm Roberts wanted to get the timeout to set this up. With Pettiford and Clements on the floor. Unusual spots for them late in a half. And McCullough hits the mid-range jumper, and the Jayhawks up 8.
McCullough plays so much under control. You know, he got to his spot, didn't have the initial drive, reset it with his footwork, pump fake, on balance, on time, money.
Anthony Black, Razorback point guard, gives it to Council. 7 seconds separating shot and game clock. Black in that playmaker's role, and a hot pass. Arkansas might have caught a break right there.
And that 2-3 zone kind of confused Arkansas that time, and watch the pass inside, trying to look at exactly who it would. It hit McCullough first, then second. Ooh. Did it touch Mitchell? Just the fingertips at the end.
Well, it'll be Arkansas ball, 2.8 to shoot, 10 and change remaining in the first half. Well, the Kansas Jayhawks, they've only trailed for 25 seconds in this game, right at the start. 22 points in the paint. 3-pointers are not really a factor for either one of these teams. There's only been 2 made threes combined. And Norm Roberts wants a defensive stand here. Late clock, 2.8 seconds to shoot for Arkansas. Council, tough 3 on its way. Guarded well by McCullers. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Tell you, Kevin McCullough.
Close. He was close on that. He was close with the contact. You want to contest, but you don't want to give the official an opportunity at the end right there to call that. I think may have gotten away.
Chance at the last shot. Pettiford looking for some space. Pettiford and a block by Mitchell. And that's how the first half comes to an end. 35-27. We've seen some injuries. Both point guards out with ankle injuries. Black returned. DeJuan Harris has not. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up. AT&T at the half. The top seed in the West, the defending national champions. They lead it by 8, the Kansas Jayhawks. We take a look at the Wendy's first half stats, and maybe the biggest glaring stat you could see right there is no fast break points, a donut for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Jimmy.
But that's part of the plan for Kansas. Excellent job of executing their offensive plan by doing this. What? Points in the paint. Only 7 3-point attempts. Why is that important? Because now those misses become long rebounds, the first pass to a fast break to a highly athletic Arkansas team. That's what you don't want to happen. So let's see if that stays true in the second half for Kansas.
You think the coaches wear it? How about the coaches' wives?
Oh, all day long. It's
Daniel
the worst.
Sargent, listen in.
So nervous. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes! Devo. Yes! Good job, Devo!
Yeah, we appreciate Danielle wearing the microphone. Remember her daughter Mariah, she was a star a few years ago. As we get underway here in this second half, Arkansas with the first possession. Allie LaForce, we see DeJuan Harris on the floor. What'd you learn back there?
Yes, I spoke with Coach Roberts. He said it is a sprained ankle, but we saw him jog out. He wants to see how well he can play through it, so they're going to give it a go. He's also very concerned with the turnovers and the rebounded. They were out-rebounded, specifically on the offensive rebounds, which hurt you. He also said he didn't talk to Coach. I said, what did Coach Self say? He said, we didn't talk, which means one of two things. Either he's mad about the rebounds and the turnovers too, or he trusts Coach. I think it's a little bit of both.
He did. Norm Roberts told us, he said, you know, all the criticism you get after games, that's one thing. You can handle that, but boy, having to deal with a Hall of Fame coach to critique the games and halves of play, that's another thing. As the acting head coach here for the Kansas Jayhawks, longtime assistant under Bill Self. They go back to the mid-90s. And Oral Roberts been an assistant at every stop, including Illinois. And of course here Kansas did have a brief head coaching stop at St. John's, did Roberts. Late clock, Grady Dick comes up short, Arkansas. So they scored on one end in their first possession. They get a stand on the other. Nick Smith back on the floor. Remember, he's playing with a balky knee. Did not practice yesterday. Was a little unsettled in the first half. Had a couple of those penalty box moments with his head coach as he brought him over to the bench.
Well, I mean, the challenge is when you have a young player, your time is limited on the court, you know, anyway, and then you have ensues, a nice drive by Black and picks up a foul on Adams. And that's
going to be his third
foul.
Jimmy. Yep, third foul on KJ Adams. They already have foul trouble with Uday, who picked up 3 quick ones. Kansas have been so good holding on to leads. They have not lost a game all year when they have led at the half. A perfect 26-0. As Anthony Black knocks down the free throw. This was other part of Eric Musselman's game plan. Try to get into transition. They haven't been able to do that. No points. Also get to the free throw line. So far today, Arkansas, and with that make it 8 of 10 at the free throw line for the Hogs.
Yeah, but Kansas does an excellent job of not reaching and bailing out their opponent. Hence, you don't pick up some of those fouls early that gets a team or your opponent, Kansas opponent, into the penalty, which then brings the foul line or free throws into play.
4-point Kansas lead. Harris looking for Adams. What an athletic catch and finish by KJ Adams. Davis gives it up. Ooh, Smith thought about it. Now he finds Council, much better three-point shooter, and they're just not falling. That's going to be a foul on Kansas, though, and that's going to be on Adams. Number 4 for KJ Adams. He picks up 2 quick ones here inside of 2 minutes.
Well, it's a good call because KJ hooked him underneath the arm. KJ was in the right position, but see how he hooks him right there? Easy call for the official. Ooh. Courtney Green right now had a good eye on it, but KJ has to be smarter in that situation. If you can't get it, that's okay. You live to, you know, work another day. But now you're on the bench with your 4 foul.
Ernest Uday on the floor with 3 fouls. Johnson, late clock here. He turns it over right into the hands of McCullough. Kansas in transition. Arkansas gets back. And now the Jayhawks will go to work. Wilson in the corner. McCullough takes a peek. See how active, see how mobile DeJuan Harris is. And that's going to be a whistle on Arkansas. It's not just that Harris is the playmaker from the point guard position. Adams in that short roll, such a big playmaker, but he's also, Harris, one of the great defenders in college basketball.
But he knows and understands tempo, pace, time, and score. And he's kind of the equalizer in regards to emotional context for Kansas. When things kind of get hurried up, is Harris that slows him down, and a beautiful pass inside, and Jalen Wilson was able to seal up the lane a little bit, put that lead hand out, receive it, and finish it.
8-point lead. Black, they let him shoot. Kansas content to let Arkansas shoot the threes. They're just 1 for 11, not their game. Jalen Wilson now, that's an answer. Jalen Wilson coming off the Arkansas miss. He drills one of his own. And just like that, Kansas, an 11-point lead. 7-0 run for the Jayhawks. Nick Smith. And Grady Dick, and Johnson just grabs him, bear hugs him. Frustration foul on Arkansas.
And that time, Jalen Wilson rejects the screen, goes away. Davis jumps on the high side, and then the shot is up. Mitchell doesn't get it. This is a frustration foul right here. What are you going to do? You're not going to get the ball. I mean, these little things, the mental parts of it, trying to control, you know, the energy, trying to control your thought process against a tough team when things are starting to go awry a little bit is going to be critical for Arkansas.
There's going to be another foul on the Razorbacks. Jordan Walsh picks up the foul. This is what Kansas is so good, all that experience on the floor, taking advantage of a young Arkansas team. Razorbacks a team with so much talent, and as Eric Musselman said, we have the kind of team we can beat anybody, anytime, but we can also lose to anybody. Been an up and down season this season. Finishes 8-10 in the SEC as Uday misses point blank, gets his own, misses again. A third chance now, and Black fouls Grady Dick. And the fouls are stacking up quick here. It's already the 14th foul for Arkansas.
Well, here's the slip inside. Uday didn't handle it right here, just missed it with his left hand, stayed with it. Up again, doesn't get it, gets chipped out. Grady Dick gets it. But, you know, the challenge with, you know, any coaching staff that has a young team is time on the court, maturity, trying to figure things out to boot. Nick Smith was out, too, so that took away some continuity and some time on the court together.
Wilson lost the handle going up, and last touched by the Razorbacks. That'll be Kansas ball. 13 to shoot here. Makai Mitchell, rim protector on the floor for Arkansas.
Let's see at the end, Wilson just loses it. Yeah,
it looked like Mitchell.
Yeah.
Harris puts it in, and we got another whistle, and that's going the other way.
Is that on?
I believe they got Grady Dick. Oh, 5-second violation. I beg your pardon.
Okay.
Not a foul.
Okay. Now, Uday got to be careful with that. I mean, if you can't get there, don't move at the last minute to pick up your fourth foul. You have to play intelligent basketball when you have 3 fouls.
Kansas turns it over. Here's Davis. Drives. Davis, explosive. The lefty scores. And a foul. Devo Davis. Thrilling drive presented by Nissan. Devo Davis going to the rack, picking up the 4th foul on Uday, Jimmy.
Yeah, this time they were able, the Arkansas offense, to get Kansas in a long rotation. What I mean by that, the defender running to Davis had to come from inside the key. So Davis smartly used the pump fake, used the momentum of the defender against him, and went right around him inside where it was open season for that layup.
Arkansas native as well from Jacksonville. He and Nick Smith, different high schools. Davis really made himself a threat. You see the foul trouble. Uday and Adams with 4 apiece. Black has 3. Davis has 3 in the backcourt for Arkansas. Harris, nice finish. Harris with that quick release. You got to respect the lob. Harris scored it himself.
But Harris is showing you, too, that you don't have to be quick to the punch in regards to foot speed. It's knowing how to utilize the pick and roll, when to go, when to get the burst, and then how to finish inside. That's why he's so valuable to this Jayhawks team.
Nick Smith now 0 for 5. Mired in a long slump. Juwan Harris, tough shot, friendly roll. Well, that ankle looks good enough. Timeout on the floor, jawing at each other on the way in. Juwan, mobile, back-to-back possessions, 12-point lead for the Jayhawks. take you back. Not a whole lot of history between these two programs in the NCAA tournament. Roy Williams and the Kansas Jayhawks, Nolan Richardson and the Razorbacks. This is 1991 Elite Eight. Kansas would defeat Arkansas 93-81. They would go on to the Final Four. They lost in the national championship game to Duke. Christian Laettner era.
My era.
Jim Jackson era.
Yeah, how about Adonis Jordan right there with a little layup inside of Jordan. Adonis was nice, man.
Keep possession here to start after the timeout. And Davis, who's been a steady presence for Arkansas. Davis now with 9. Davis playing with those 3 fouls. So far, DeJuan Harris looks good. Harris with 8 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. He left this game with an ankle injury at the 3-minute mark of the first half. It looks like his old self. Empty set here for Kansas. Ricky Council running the break.
Zuby Ejiofor digging deep into the bench right now because of the foul trouble with Uday and also Adams.
Council in the corner. Another missed 3 for Arkansas. Battling for it, Walsh. McCullough comes away with it. Here comes Wilson. Razorbacks are 1 of 12 from 3-point range. 10-point Kansas lead. Big 12 regular season champions, the Jayhawks. They lost in the Big 12 tournament title game to Texas. McCullough. Black by Council. Well, Council runs into McCullough. McCullough, terrific defender. And Davis. That's been their offense right now. Davis, he's the one guy working the game plan here for Eric Musselman. He's driving, he's scoring. 8-point game. Davis into double figures with 11. McCullough gets some space inside, spins off the big man Mitchell.
To win big, you need a player like McCullough. Why? Because he can do that. He can pull up for a deep shot. He can pull up for a jump shot, 15 feet. He rebounds. He does all the little things. He's almost like the glue to this team.
Davis once again. He scored the last 10 for Arkansas. Keep feeding him. Devo Davis on a roll right now. Davis scored 16 against Illinois Thursday. That was in 30 minutes. Terrific defensive player that's bringing some offense this year. Grady Dick, 3-pointer, cash. Big shot, Grady Dick. Gets his crowd back into it.
I would try to figure out, too, for Arkansas to keep the ball in this young man's hand, either off the ball, get him driving to his left, off a dribble handoff. He's been so effective.
Makai Mitchell. There you go. And the foul, Makai Mitchell. Taking advantage of Ejiofor, the freshman. Free throw when we come back.
Like I said, Brian, get the ball inside the Mitchell. That's just
good call, Jim.
Thank you.
We are in Des Moines. Brian Anderson with Jim Jackson, Allie LaForce, our producer Tom Heights, director Andrew Greathouse. 51-43, Kansas with the lead as Mitchell cannot hit the free throw. Foul trouble stacking up early for both of these teams. Ejiofor still on the floor for Kansas, and their offense runs a lot differently when Adams is not in there. As Harris misses, Davis with the rebound coming out of the pack. Council up ahead. Davis almost lost the handle, and he gets it to go. Keep feeding him.
Well, that's the part. Very few opportunities in transition, but that time Davis was aware that no one from Kansas stopped him. So even when he mishandled the dribble, he was still in the position with 2 feet in the paint to catch and gather and finish that shot.
First basket in transition, Jimmy, for the Razorbacks. A stated goal for Eric Musselman. Shot clock down to 5, and Walsh all over Wilson. Great defense, goes up and over the backboard. And Arkansas stands and give credit to Jordan Walsh, taking on one of the best players in the country. How about Devo Davis, 16 for the game. He's got 12 this half. Game summary, Jimmy, is Arkansas has the basketball here, and now with this run by Devo Davis, only down 6.
But what you don't see, too, is only 1 turnover in the second half. And that allows you now to get quality looks. You're not giving the ball to Kansas in transition. Hence, you're more efficient offensively.
Kansas into a zone. And Council splits him. Finds Mitchell. Good action by the Razorbacks. Creeping in there. Arkansas now down 4. Makai Mitchell has given him some good minutes off the bench. Joseph Yesufu on the floor for Kansas. Remember, Adams in foul trouble. And Walsh fouls Wilson. Wilson got a step on him. Walsh did get a steal from behind earlier in this game in the first half. That time he fouls him.
He's on the ground. That's what they're saying. That I know from Eric Musselman's perspective. You know, go back to that play with Council against the zone because you had movement. He found the gap. He got downhill, and then he attracted the backline defense and made the correct play. So really executing well in the second half offensively. That's a foul you don't need. Again, Clemens is going away from the basket. He can't beat you. So why even attempt to get this right here? You're not going to get it.
16 foul for Arkansas, Jimmy. We got 10:42 left in this second half. There's a steal. Devo Davis got Mitchell running with him. A foul, Clements, and free throws coming for Devontae Davis. He has been the best player on the floor in this second half.
We talked about McCullough on his team being kind of the equalizer, the glue. Well, for this Arkansas team, there's no doubt it's Devo Davis just doing a little bit of everything, being active. See the points in the first half, 12. He identifies what the opponent has to offer defensively, and he gets to his spots. And we saw this in the last game against Illinois, just slowly just getting to his spots, just doing all the little things. Off the dribble, tough to stop because he has a long gated dribble and stride. And of course, when he's open, if he can set his puppies, now he's shooting 35% from the three-point line.
Here's Allen with more on the Arkansas native.
And Jim, as you know, not just getting to spots, but getting to the right spots. Coming in, he was a 23% shooter in his first 81 career games. He almost doubled that in the last 18 games of the season because of the efficiency of getting to the right spots and being able to communicate with his teammates on how to get him in those spots.
Huge impact right now. He's made his last 7 shots. He's got Arkansas within 2. It's an 8-0 run as Grady Dick loses it out of bounds. 8 to shoot for Kansas.
And Brian, notice the activity has picked up significantly in the second half defensively for Arkansas. A lot more communication, deflections, not a lot of driving opportunities for Kansas.
KJ Adams on the bench, shot with those 4 fouls. It is affecting the way Kansas runs their offense. McCullough up the window, no. Makai Mitchell, he's the one who had a deflection on that turnover in the last possession. He pulls down a board here. And Arkansas down 2 can tie or take the lead as we go into 10 minutes. Mitchell looking for Davis, and why not? Kick it, Walsh. They leave him open. 3 to shoot. Walsh got to put up a tough shot. Does so. Gets it on the rim. And Ejiofor with the big rebound.
Well, Walsh's inability and lack of confidence to shoot that shot when he was open forced him to take a tougher shot on that particular possession.
Good stand by Kansas. Ejiofor will get it to Grady Dick. And Dick batted by Black. I think he got a piece. A block shot. Kansas gets back. Davis probing. No look pass. Walsh gets it deep. Denied. Ejiofor with the block. And a foul. Davis, just as Kansas was off to the races, he needs a breath.
Yeah. Well, he's playing extended minutes because Nick Smith hasn't been a factor. And you see the block inside. And you talked about the foul trouble too. Now this is when it comes into effect. Kansas is a 72% free throw shooting team. Now they're in 1-1 with 9 minutes left to go. You figure they're going to pick up some more fouls and get into the double penalty probably within the next 3 minutes or 4 minutes. So A lot of good things can happen for Kansas with that. You can drive a lot more, but Arkansas has to be smarter defensively with their fouling.
Davis just picked up his 4th, by the way. So foul trouble there. And McCullough cannot connect on the front end. Both teams in the bonus right now. Next Kansas foul will put Arkansas at the line for a 1-and-1. Gonna have a lot of free throws to determine this one. Walsh, no hesitation. Cash! Arkansas has taken the lead. And a reluctant shooter on one end. He comes right back and drills the 3. Eric Musselman searching for the right combination. Looks like he's found it. Devontae Davis first. Jordan Walsh just hits a 3 to make it an 11-0 scoring run.
And it's because the offense has been efficient, but let's give a lot of credit to Arkansas and their defense. And then Jordan Walsh, he turned down an open shot before. Not on this occasion. He heard me talking to him. If you're open, you got a beautiful stroke. Step up there, feel confident, and knock it in. Big-time shot by the young freshman.
Freshman from DeSoto, Texas. Just 28% from three-point land this year. Arkansas is in front. Their first lead since it was 2-0.
And this one it gets good because now the pressure shifts. It's been shifting as Arkansas cut into this lead on two Kansas.
Again, KJ Adams sits with the 4 fouls. Walsh picks up Wilson. Now the switch. Mitchell on him. Mitchell moving his feet, but fouls him. And Wilson's going to have free throws. And Mitchell picks up his 3rd. Davis on the bench now with 4 for Arkansas. Well, foul's going to be a big story. They already are. Foul trouble, free throw shooting. Arkansas hit their free throws. That's been a problem for the Razorbacks at times this year, but they did make their free throws late against Illinois. Kansas, a good free throw shooting team. And this is certainly the guy you want, but he misses again.
And that's 80% at the line right there. So you have McCullough not able to take care of his business. And this
Mitchell flying in there. And McCullough stood in there to take it. Mitchell picking up a couple of fouls here. Limping off is Uday. Just got out of the restricted area.
Yeah.
And going the other way.
And it takes a lot of heart to see Mitchell at 6'9". He weighs more than 230. I can tell you, I weigh more than 230. He weighs.
That's 4 on Makai Mitchell.
KJ Adams is now back in the game.
8 minutes to play with those 4 fouls. Here's Harris for 3. DeWine sticks the landing. Big shot. Kansas back in front. Norm Roberts actually telling Harris to shoot more 3s, be less unselfish. He likes his stroke. Thinks he's a weapon out there. Walsh with Grady Dick on him, gets it back out to Council. Wilson picks up Council. Wilson staying with him. Just one-on-one right here. Council misses, and that is a foul. Timeout on the floor. McCullough picks up the foul. 2-point Kansas lead. Moments of Care presented by Dove Men Plus Care. The emotion as the Razorbacks put on an 11-0 run to take the lead. Kansas has regained it. Arkansas, 3 comeback wins of 12 or more points this season. Second most in the SEC, and this is a team that went 8-10 in the SEC. Jimmy under Eric Musselman, the Razorbacks, back-to-back Elite Eights. They are 7-2 in the NCAA tournament. First free throw is good for Devo Davis. He's having a monster second half here. Nick Smith continues to sit. Davis playing with 4 fouls.
Right on that. Smith only 5 minutes in the second half, and I can't be mad at Eric Musselman kind of staying status quo, because this is the group, the lineup that has gotten you a lead for at one point, but back in this game, so you want to try to ride it out.
KJ Adams take it on Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell with a block, but a foul. So Makai Mitchell, he picks up the costly foul. That's number 5.
Ooh, a lot of ball on that. I don't know if he got him on the body, but up top it was all ball. Now, an outstanding play call by Norm Roberts to get KJ Adams Jr. isolated on Mitchell, to drive him, to pick up that foul. Now, I will say this about Kansas. Adams has 4 fouls. You have to be really surgical and strategic on the pick and rolls. Allow him to set and be set and go a half a second late so he's not caught moving, and you end up picking up a 5th foul for him. So that has to be very strategical.
Yep. First casualty is Makai Mitchell. His twin brother Mikel could be a factor. Right now, Eric Musselman goes with Kamani Johnson. Here's Davis going to work on Adams. Davis got another one. 17 in the half. 21 for Devo Davis.
And who did he score it over? KJ Adams. He knew going at him that Adams was not going to risk picking up a 5th foul by trying to block the shot. Intelligent play that time by Davis.
Wow, Davis almost picked up his 5th. Adams with 4, falls down. Oh, they're going to call Johnson for the foul.
But watch this. I think KJ Adams shuffled his feet when he caught the ball right there. So that's a travel. Before he got into his move.
Yeah, he did grab him.
Yeah, he grabbed it, but I'm saying, but even before that, he shuffled his feet. So the no call ends up being a positive for Kansas to be able to get it right. Look, they moved that pivot foot.
Good call, Jimmy. Huh? 3rd foul on Johnson. Adams able to knock down the 1st in the double bonus here. Kansas the rest of the way. Hey, watch CBS Sports HQ for free. 24/7 coverage of the big dance and all the biggest moments in sports. Catch tournament highlights, picks, previews, recaps, and more. The CBS Sports app. And watch today. KJ Adams knocks 2 down. Kansas in front by 2. Makai Mitchell is out, and plenty others in the danger zone. Black going right at Adams. A foul by Johnson, no good. And it's into the hands of Harris. Grady Dick's running with him. Wilson running with him. Arkansas does a good job getting back. Kansas will get it organized here. We approach the 6-minute mark. The top-seeded Jayhawks in the West, defending national champions. McCullough. And McCullough in and out. And the foul is called. Jordan Walsh picks up the foul. Couple of free throws here for Kevin McCullough. Walsh picks up his 3rd. You'll see the foul by Walsh. McCullough can't hit the first. Kansas had their struggles from the free throw line here. Just 9 for 15. Kevin's mom, Heather. Kevin from San Antonio. Started his collegiate career at Texas Tech. Sweet 16 team last year with Chris Beard. He's found his way to Lawrence. It's 1 out of 2. McCullough just one of his last 4 from the line. Kansas by 3. Under 6 minutes to go in regulation. Council. Oh! The block by McCullough. Davis gets it back. Davis is fouled. Well, the ball's just finding Devo Davis right now.
The energy, because he's playing so hard, it just finds it. McCullough right here with a beautiful help. He got beat on the screen, helped by KJ, and then he recovers on the backside. But guess who's there waiting? Devo Davis. Again, Adams can't defend well. It's outside of just going straight up and down. McCullough back into play, picks up the foul with the body.
What a game he's putting together for this second half rally. Davis with 22 now. He's also got 8 boards. There are so many players on the floor, Jimmy, right now that are playing so cautious as to not foul out. So the targets offensively are wide open.
You got a lot of them that you can go at. I would involve Davis in some kind of pick and roll, get him in a switch situation, particularly on the post if you can.
Kansas by 1 with the ball. Wilson to McCullough. Back to the top and Adams. Everybody getting a touch here. Grady Dick kicks it. 10 to shoot now. Adams taking on Johnson. Adams is fouled, and it goes. KJ Adams, an and one opportunity.
I mentioned this, Brian. With Adams out of the lineup, you can't run this short pick and roll or get the ball in the middle and allow your post player to go one-on-one. This is an added advantage when you have KJ Adams Jr. He can either create off the dribble and make it play for his teammates, or as we've seen the last couple of possessions, you trust him enough to be able to go one-on-one and benefit from that.
Big play. Fourth foul on Kamani Johnson. He and Davis with 4. Kansas stretches their lead to 4. Number 4 with a basketball. Gets the switch. What they wanted. Rises up. Little mid-range, no good. Grady Dick flying high with a rebound.
I wonder if you make the adjustment where you don't switch Adams on that. Push the screen up a little bit more. Oh, a 10-second call.
It is. Harris was slow to get it across. And Kansas turns it over. Well, costly turnover right there as we go under 5 minutes.
Well, let's remember that play. Just remember that. This is a turnover on your end.
Yeah, no question. As soon as it hit 20. See if Arkansas can capitalize. 9 points off turnovers, make it 11. Ricky Council delivers one right through the heart. 2-point game. Council's got 12 now. Tough shooting game, but he's a guy that can get hot. We've seen it. Kevin McCullough peels it back. Council cuts him off. Harris, the playmaker. Harris, the scoop, no good. Johnson there with a rebound. Arkansas wants to push. Davis taking on Adams. Davis, oh, he scores it. Goes to his strong hand. We're tied at 61. Three ties, 3 lead changes. Knotted at 61. 21 and a half for Devo Davis. McCullough for 3. Big shot! Kevin McCullough! On the attack, Davis. Here's Walsh. Davis, quick release, short. Wilson gathers the board. 3.5 to go in regulation. 3-point game, Kansas with the lead in the ball.
And keep in mind, Jalen Wilson only 5 touches, 5 field goal attempts in the second half.
Every Arkansas foul is 2 free throws. Adams, little push shot, no. Council rips it off the board. Here comes the Razorbacks. Council drives it, and McCullough fouls him.
Didn't have to reach. Didn't have to reach on that. Big-time players make big-time shots, and McCullough's been there before. 3 to the head.
There's a game reset. Both teams in the double bonus the rest of the way. The final 3:05. Kansas leads it by 3. Possession arrow belongs to the Jayhawks. Brian Anderson, Jim Jackson. We got a couple of free throws coming here. It's been a furious comeback for Arkansas, and Devo Davis leading the way.
But smartly, because he's getting to his spots. He's not allowing the Kansas defense to dictate what shots he's going to take. It's not long 3-point shots that are contested. He's either in transition, he catches it on the run, he's getting to the basket, second shot opportunity. That's what I call intelligent basketball and how to score the ball against a very tough, experienced Kansas defense.
21 in the second half as Ricky Council hits the first free throw. 21 in the second half for Davis. He's also chipped in with 8 rebounds.
And played good defense despite having the 4 fouls as well.
1-point game. There are 5 players with 4 fouls, 4 of them on the floor. Davis and Johnson are the Arkansas defenders with 4 fouls. Harris, 2-man game with Adams, playing with those 4 fouls. Back in the hands of Wilson. Big 12 Player of the Year. Wilson stripped down by Walsh. Off the thigh of Wilson.
I tell you what, Walsh, for a freshman to be as in tuned and knowledgeable how to play. Look, hands are in the air. He slid his feet at the last minute when the ball was exposed. He swiped down.
Well, he's got some reach and great hands. Been a difference maker defensively.
He loves to play defense. That's the key, Brian.
Arkansas, a chance to take the lead here. We go under 2.5. Black on the drive. Black hangs. No, McCullough touched it last. It'll be Arkansas ball. 7 to shoot for the Razorbacks.
And remember, Kansas gave up a lob in the first half underneath out of bounds. Pressure on the ball, force it to go back out towards half court.
Council with McCullough on him. Council got him up in the air. The shot fake. Did he go off? He did not. Shot clock violation. Wow. Well, he split the 2 defenders, but he ran out of time, and Kansas holds their ground.
Watch the pump fake. That's when you could have drew contact right there from McCullough, right there in the air. That's the next thing right there. That's easy contact, but Council didn't recognize it.
Each team with 11 turnovers. That was a big one. Jayhawks with the ball in the lead. 2 minutes to go in regulation. A trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. And a foul, and that is Davis, and that is number 5. Wow. And the hot hand for Eric Musselman is out. The second Razorback to foul out.
Watch the reverse pivot with Harris right here. Boop, right there, and the reach in. See, the little things right there, the reach. You're better off because they need you in the game. Let Harris go to the baseline and rely on your help to come back across. I know it's an instant reaction. It's a bang-bang play. But that's a tough loss for Arkansas.
2 free throws here. Double bonus. Another miss for Kansas. So Davis, 1 point away from a career best. He exits with 25, 21.5. And Nick Smith is back on the floor for Arkansas. Has hardly played in the second half. 1 out of 2 for Harris. 2-point game. 1:56 left. Arkansas down with the ball. Council becomes the primary now. Little turnaround. Council. Oh, what a shot. Tough shot, Ricky Council, the 4th. We're tied at 65. Not afraid of the moment. We saw that Thursday against Illinois, Ricky Council. Timeout, Kansas. Norm Roberts wants to talk it over. 1:29 left. We're all even up.
And Council said, Davis, don't worry, brother. I got your back. Able to tie this thing up at 65.
Foul trouble, big story. It's been that way for a good chunk of this second half. Council delivers a big turnaround, Jay, and we're tied at 65. Kansas ball, Jim.
And I like to see Kansas utilize Adams in that short pick and roll. Why? Because he's been able to make plays. More importantly, he's 6 for 7 from the free throw line.
Nick Smith picks up Harris. McCullough just hit a big 3 from the other side a moment ago. Harris again, 6 to shoot now. Getting a late clock. Harris. Oh, a pass to Adams. Stripped away, gets it back, comes up short. It did hit the rim, but it's out of bounds. And that'll be Arkansas ball. They're going to officially call that a shot clock violation. It did graze the rim. And I don't know. You can take a look at this. Under 2 minutes to see possession.
Oh, no, it hit Jalen Wilson on the way out. Right at the end, it went off Jalen's body. But that's just outstanding one-on-one defense and then help defense at the end by Arkansas.
Poe going around. Officials confirm with a standby official, Amy Bonner. So Arkansas ball. 1 minute to go. Who's gonna be the one to take the big shot? Council wants it. Council, in and out it goes. Offensive board and a putback. Johnson gives Arkansas the lead. Tawan Harris at the controls. Trying to get the ball to Wilson, and a foul. Jordan Walsh fouls Wilson. That means 2 free throws here for Kansas.
The mismatch inside. Johnson didn't stay married to a spot. He knew he had to get to the ball. And here's the foul on Walsh. Now,
push in the back.
Now, is it a bad thing? I mean, Jalen Wilson, listen, 1 for 1 in the second half on the free throw line. Not really involved.
4 for 6 now.
Yep, Kansas the first one.
By the way, Kamani Johnson, double-digit rebounds. 4 points, 10 boards, 6 offensive rebounds. Kansas, 1 more to go for the tie. All the way around. We're tied at 67.
Use all of it, young fella. Look, they'll go back to that high pick and roll. Council and Johnson.
This is what the madness is all about. Council goes. There is a foul. It's going to be on Kansas. The officials coming together here. And let's see who they pin it on. It is going to be on McCullough. That's number 5 on Kevin McCullough.
But see, you see the backside of this. The challenge is McCullough went over the top of the screen, which put him at a disadvantage when Council turned the corner. See right there? So now he's at a disadvantage. I would push that screen out and go up underneath on Council. I don't think he wants to shoot a step back 3 or off the dribble 3 in this situation. Again, you got the adjusted KYP, know your personnel. You keep Adams attached to his guy, go under that screen and meet Council when he wants to turn the corner.
A premium defender has fouled out, and Kansas has their first casualty.
Right.
We knew this was coming, the way the fouls were racking up early.
But it's a smart play by Council. He missed the last jump shot, in and out. This time he was able to get his foot and his left shoulder by his opponent, then got downhill, so it's a very smart play.
Ricky Council at the line, 78% free throw shooter. Arkansas made their free throws late against Illinois Thursday. Council was a big part of that, and he calmly cashes the first one in, a clutch free throw. Council 6 for 6 from the line. Arkansas in front. Davis with that monster second half. Only a cheerleader now. Council missed it. 1-point game. Oh, it's loose, and it's Council, and he's fouled. An offensive board, and free throws coming. And Arkansas can add to their lead with 20 seconds remaining.
It's always the little things. The activity by Jordan Walsh. He didn't get it, but he got a hand on the basketball to keep it alive. Game-winning plays.
Rattles it home. Jordan Walsh is a dog, man. He is man. In it. And he and Johnson both got a hand on that. Ends up as an offensive board for Council. He can make it a 3-point game with 20.4 left. Council clutch free throws. Kansas, 1 timeout remaining. Remember, a foul means 2 free throws here as Harris wants to talk it over. That's an option for Eric Musselman. What a game. What a finish we're set up for. The Razorbacks down 8 at the half on a serious run in the second half. And they've got the defending champions on the ropes with 16 seconds left. Kansas uses their last timeout, Jimmy.
If I'm Norm Roberts, this is what I want to draw up. I want to draw up a quick play to try to get a quick 2. If I can get a spray out 3, perfect. If I can score within 3 to 4 seconds, I still have plus 10 seconds on the clock. That's important because now you have to force Arkansas to get the ball inbounds, secure it, don't turn it over, foul. You can even foul out of the first trap if you don't get the foul, if you don't want to foul originally, and force him to go to the free throw line to make in, the free throws.
These national champions, Jimmy, since the 2007 season, been chasing the back-to-backs. Duke, 91 and 92. Only 2 in the last 50 years have gone back-to-back. The Florida Gators of 06 and 07, Billy Donovan's team. And Kansas trying to make a big comeback here late with 16.1 seconds to keep that dream alive.
You got to know Arkansas doesn't want to foul. If you put pressure on the defense, you can get a quick layup.
3-point lead for the Razorbacks. And even if you were thinking about a foul, remember Walsh has 4.
Yep.
Johnson has 4. So you're running out of options for guys to foul. Here we go. Let's see how they play it.
When the shot goes up, Arkansas has to secure the defensive rebound.
Quick 2 or a 3. Let's see. Harris chewing up some clock. Nick Smith on it. Here's Wilson out. Walsh defends. Wilson going for a 2. He is fouled.
That hurt you.
Well, somebody's going out because those 2 around him each had 4 fouls. And they give it to Walsh.
You got the foul, but to me, this play took too long to develop. Again, you bleed under 10 seconds now. You can't rely on if the ball goes to the corner. You can trap really hard and get a 5-second count. It's hard to do that with 8 seconds on the clock right now, because now you're going to have to foul immediately. So that's why it's important for me to get a quick play, a quick score with 10+ seconds left. Those extra seconds buy you time to trap when you think your opponent thinks you're going to foul, and you can probably bait them into getting a 5-second call. That's out. I think that's out the window right now for Kansas if you can make both of these.
How about this moment for Joseph Pinion, who enters the fray here, the freshman. Walsh fouls out. 3 Razorbacks DQ'd. 3-point game. There's only 8 seconds remaining. And he knocks down the first. Now, no timeouts for Kansas. You miss the second. Try to get the rebound and make a run at it.
I would force Arkansas to try to get the ball in bounds. Now, Arkansas, you can't stay married underneath. Shorten the passes.
Wilson,
don't get in the corner.
He gets them both. They get it in bounds quickly, and they foul Council. That was good work.
Yep.
So Arkansas immediately right out of the net gets it to their most clutch free throw shooter in Ricky Council. 7.1 seconds left. Terry and Ford will be checking in as well. You got a couple of Arkansas kids, the freshmen, Pinion and Ford, and they are stepping into a hornet's nest here in Des Moines.
And you have to figure, for Arkansas, Council has been great at the free throw line. If you make 2, you have a play already in mind that you want to run. Norm Roberts was able to call. Makes both a 3-point play because you don't have any timeouts left, so you have to relay that to your team in the last one.
Council, clutch. Ricky Council is 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Delivered in a big way here. 2-point game. Chance to put him up 3. Council does. Here we go. 7.1. Need a 3 to tie. Kansas with Wilson, and that's going to be a block.
Hey, that's okay.
Yep.
That's okay.
Anthony Black with the foul. Back to the free throw line goes Jalen Wilson.
Well, Anthony Black jumped out. It was a dribble handoff. He jumped out, anticipated it, just didn't get there in time, but that's okay. Now here's where the strategy comes in. Make the first, miss the second.
Got to at this point.
Yep.
So again, it'll be Wilson at the line. 2 shots here. Boy, what a game.
Wow.
8-point halftime lead for Kansas. They have not lost a game all year when they have led at the half. A perfect 26-0. And they are in trouble now as Wilson hits the first. And in comes the rebounder. Lakel Mitchell will enter.
Read the tea leaves. You know what's about to happen.
Twins. His twin brother fouled out. One of the 3 Razorbacks to foul out. 3 seconds to go. Arkansas by 2, expecting a miss here. Missed it. Oh, he tried to miss it off the bank. Arkansas gets it in. They get it to Black. The clock ticks. And that's it. And the Razorbacks survive and advance to the Sweet 16. Arkansas wins it. And they knock off the defending national champions.
Brian, the Kansas coaching staff called this a toughness game. You throw X's and O's out at some point. This Razorback team stepped up big time. Oh yeah, you deserve to take your shirt off. You deserve to take, because they could have easily folded in when Kansas made their run in the second half. But the lineup that was led by Devo Davis, the little things, allowed them to get back in this game and put the pressure on Kansas.
Tried to miss it on purpose, but it was true off the glass. And then Johnson quickly gets it here to Black. Ball game. And just like we saw with Eric Musselman in his Nevada days, the shirt comes off. Arkansas wins it 72-71, third consecutive Sweet 16 for the Hogs. And Danielle and Mariah T. Musselman, the jubilation on that sideline. Kansas eliminated. Ricky Council with the clutch free throws. Right after Davis fouls out, they needed a score, and they got one. To Las Vegas they go. The Razorbacks in a Sweet 16 matchup against either St. Mary's or UConn. Get dressed, Coach.